Hey folks, welcome back. Jake and Christina here from Seed Bomb, and today we're talking about another winter forageable, chaga mushroom. Now, searching for chaga, the elusive mushroom, is a lot like striking gold in the woods. People are constantly looking for this, going everywhere because of its great medicinal values, which we'll get into later. But let's first find out where to find chaga.
So yeah, chaga is usually found in forests that have a lot of birch trees. We've found where we are in Northeast Pennsylvania, they most commonly show up on yellow birches or swamp birches like this guy here. So we're gonna first talk about a few ways to identify birch trees, and then we'll get into chaga.
Now, some of the key characteristics of birch would be the bark. So the bark of a birch tree generally has these horizontal kind of lines going across it, these cracks in it. Oftentimes the bark itself will be peeling off of the tree, kind of curling and drying up. Another identifying feature is that a lot of birches seem to be perched off the ground like this. They're not just growing straight out of the ground. They're almost kind of like this bent shape along the bottom where the roots meet the earth, and then the tree grows off of that. Of course, you're probably all familiar with the white birch. That is a very unique looking tree, very easy to identify. We have not had too much luck finding chaga on the white birch. Like Christina said, it's usually the silver birch, the swamp birch, the yellow birch. That's where we're finding most of our chaga. Now, another cool thing about birch is that the bark itself is actually hydrophobic. So you'll often find logs like this laying on the ground where the inside is rotting out, but the bark is still intact. This bark is obviously safe to harvest. The limb is dead, and this is excellent for starting fires and a whole bunch of other things, which we will discuss in a later video.
All right, well, we found some chaga, and it looks like a lot of it's already been harvested, which we're gonna talk about in a minute. But first I wanted to show you some for identification. There's like this little nugget down here. This has all been harvested, and then there's another big hunk of it down here, but we're gonna leave that just because there's already been so much taken from this tree. But for identification, so when you find chaga, you're gonna see that really like rock hard, crusty, kind of burnt looking outer black layer, which is what you will see growing out of the tree. You won't see any of the inner layer, but here we have the opportunity to look and see that there's kind of a golden orange inner part to the chaga that you usually see once you harvest and cut it. It's kind of not as crusty, it's a little more like corky in texture. So that is how you identify chaga. There are no poisonous lookalikes. The most common mistake is thinking a tree burl is chaga. So, all right, so we just wanted to take a minute to talk about responsible foraging. It's something that we feel really strongly about, that you know, all of the plants and mushrooms and everything, they don't just exist for us to get out and harvest. So there are a couple things on this harvest that we wanted to point out as we talk about it.
I think it showed in the close-up video, someone clearly used a saw, like a camp saw here, to cut into this to harvest the chaga, but in doing so, they sliced right through the bark, right into the inner part of this tree.
Yeah, so when you harvest chaga, you want to, it is hard, you know, it is rock hard. So a camp saw or a hatchet are gonna be much better tools to use than a knife, but you really wanna aim to just harvest. This was actually done properly if you can see how they harvested from that outgrowth of chaga rather than getting into the bark. However, this was a lot harvested here. They left like a little nugget down here, which is good, but you really want to take maybe up to 50%, but no more than that. Chaga is very, very slow growing.
Chaga is so slow growing, it can take up to 20 years to fully develop on a tree. And once it's established, it can take another 5 years to grow to be about a 10-inch diameter chunk, which is considered harvestable. So you're looking at least 25 years before you get a harvestable chunk of chaga. And when you take all of it, that's got to start over. So we're going to head out into the woods here, spend a little more time looking for more chaga, some more chaga that's a little more harvestable than what we've previously found. And if we do find some, we'll take it home and dry it. We like to use chaga in tea. We just steep a good hunk of the chaga in hot water for up to...
We do a couple hours sometimes.
A couple hours, yeah, overnight. and you get a nice kind of earthy flavor from it, and you know you're getting all of the health benefits from the chaga.
Chaga has a ton of health benefits. It's considered a superfood because it's really loaded with antioxidants and vitamins. It has a lot of potassium. It has beta glucans in it, which are immunomodulators. It also has a substance in it called betulinic acid, which you can do a little more reading about, but there have been studies that have shown it to have some anti-cancer properties for certain types of tumors and cancers. So just a really, really incredible plant.
So thank you guys so much for watching. We hope you learned something. Like I said, we're going to hit the woods here. Enjoy this nice kind of wintry, warm wintry day. See if we can find some more chaga and see what else we can find. Thank you so much for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
$10 quiz.